Imagine a moment when everything seems to be going wrong, and then, suddenly, a spark of magic fills the air. Today we travel into a busy kitchen where a strict chef forces a gentle, humble woman to make dinner. Little does he know that in her quiet heart she carries the secret of a master chef. This is a story of surprises in the kitchen, where simple ingredients mix with hidden talent to create a masterpiece that leaves everyone amazed. Get ready, because what happens next will light up your eyes and stir your soul. In a brightly lit kitchen of a small popular restaurant, every tool gleams like a promising new day. The countertops are clean, and the ovens hum with gentle warmth. In this kitchen, there is one chef well known for his strict rules and fancy ways. He always manages the kitchen like a captain over his ship. He loves precision, hot pans, and dishes that obey every rule of taste. Near him, hidden in plain view, stands a quiet woman with modest clothes and soft eyes. She is not noticed by many, but today, fate has its own plan. That day, the famous chef found himself in a rush. A special dinner was to be prepared for guests whose names sparkled like stars. He looked around and spotted a humble woman quietly dusting a shelf of spices. In a moment of impatience and arrogance, he ordered her to cook dinner. He thought she was just a helper, someone who could only complete basic tasks. Yet what no one knew was that the humble woman was much more than she appeared. She was a hidden star chef, a cook whose heart danced with recipes passed down like whispered secrets from an old family cookbook. As the chef barked his order, the humble woman took one deep, steady breath, letting the quiet power inside her shine. With gentle hands, she began her work. She picked up fresh vegetables from a basket that smelled like the morning dew and inspected each one like a precious gem. There were carrots as orange as the sunset, bell peppers in shades of red, green, and yellow, and onions that shone with a promise of sweetness when cooked. She took her time, showing what true care means, cutting each piece into even slices so that every bit would cook just right. Her precision was like watching an artist paint with flavor. Even though the chef had forced her to work quickly, every action was deliberate and full of hidden mastery. Unlike the loud clatter of hurried pans, her movements were smooth and calm. With steady steps, she moved from one station to another, her focus unbroken. In that moment, the kitchen became a stage for creativity, and every ingredient was a note in a delicious symphony. The secret of her cooking was not just in the quick chopping or careful slicing. It was in the understanding of each ingredient's story. Before the first sound of the sizzling oil filled the room, she recalled days from her childhood. In a small kitchen at home, warm with memories, she had learned that a pinch of salt is like a whisper that tells the vegetables to sing. Each herb, each spice, was a note of a secret melody. This personal memory gave her courage as she began the technical part of her magic. She placed a heavy pan on the stove and warmed it slowly until it was ready, much like waiting for a friend to arrive. Next, a small drizzle of oil shimmered in the light as it spread across the surface of the pan. The oil was not too hot and not too cold. It was just perfect for creating a golden foundation. Soon, finely chopped onions met the oil, and with the gentle sound of sizzling, they transformed from crisp to soft and sweet. This process is called caramelization, a natural magic where heat awakens a hidden sweetness in food. Even though the chef believed recipes were only about strict measurements, she knew that a little heart and intuition were as important as every ingredient. A small splash of oil accidentally escaped from the pan, and landed on the floor. For a moment, the kitchen held a tiny, funny pause. Even in the middle of a serious task, the humble woman allowed herself a soft smile. Sometimes even experts find humor in little mistakes, and it is in these moments that life feels most real and kind. It reminded everyone watching that even a mistake can have a hidden lesson or gentle reminder to enjoy the present moment. With careful determination, she added more vegetables into the pan. First came carrots, sliced thinly to cook evenly. Then bright bell peppers followed, adding both color and a sweet crunch. Each vegetable was cooked slowly at just the right temperature. In her mind, every minute mattered. This is similar to how a clock ticks steadily, never rushing yet always moving forward. Just like a good recipe builds flavor bit by bit. After the vegetables took on a soft glow, she turned her attention to a secret sauce, the heart of the meal. In a small bowl, she mixed ripe, red tomatoes with garlic and a tiny spoonful of sugar. With each stir, she thought of the many times she had experimented with flavors in her small kitchen years ago. When the mixture was poured into a pot and heated gently, it began to bubble slowly. This bubbling was the start of a magical change. The sauce thickened as the tomato's natural sweetness emerged, blended perfectly with the tang of garlic and the bright hint of sugar. It was simple yet powerful, an everyday miracle that sometimes more famous chefs forget. She added a special pinch of basil to the simmering sauce. The basil leaf, as fresh as a summer morning, released an aroma that filled the entire kitchen. It was as if the basil whispered secrets of faraway lands, where gardens bloomed and every dish was a heartfelt story. The humble woman's knowledge of herbs and spices was not learned from books alone. It was passed down from generations. With every careful stir, she shared a bit of her heritage, a hidden tale told through flavors and scents. At this point, the kitchen was alive with color, smells, and the sounds of a symphony of food. The sizzling, the bubbling of the sauce, and the steady clip-clop of her knife-cutting vegetables were like a secret language only she could speak. The chef, standing by with crossed arms and narrowed eyes, believed he was in control. What he did not see was the artistry unfolding right in front of him, a journey toward a dish that would soon be remembered by everyone who tasted it. Cooking is not only an art, it is a science too. Every process in this kitchen had something wonderful happening behind the scenes. As the vegetables softened, a process called Maillard reaction began. This is when heat changes proteins and sugars into new flavors and aromas, much like how a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. To a young mind, it is like magic that turns plain food into gold. The humble woman understood that when meat is cooked right, it becomes tender while holding on to all the juices inside. With a knowing look, she placed the meat in another pan, gently allowing it to sear until the outside formed a light, crispy layer. This searing kept the meat juicy and full of flavor on the inside. It was like wrapping a gift in shiny paper, beautiful and full of surprises once opened. Throughout the cooking process, she balanced every step with care, like playing a gentle game of mix and match with nature's best ingredients. She monitored the heat, listened to the sounds from the pans, and even measured the ingredients with simple tools like spoons and small cups. Her technical skills were subtle yet deep, as she combined the science of cooking with the magic of heartfelt tradition. For anyone who loves food, these moments remind us that every dish is the result of careful thought, even when we choose to keep things simple. As the dinner took shape, The kitchen transformed from a place of hard work into a living, breathing masterpiece. The vegetables now glowed softly in the pan. The sauce shone like a ruby in its pot, and the meat was perfectly seared to preserve its goodness. Each element was cooked with the exact care that only true passion can inspire. Together, they would form a plate that was not only nutritious, but a work of art. At this point, the hum of the kitchen became the heartbeat of the restaurant. The chef, who had been so sure of his own ways all his life, began to notice small signs. His eyes widened as he realized that every step the humble woman took was filled with skill and care. The dish that was meant to be a simple meal had turned into a celebration of flavor and creativity. Every ingredient had its place, and every flavor was in perfect harmony. It is funny to think about how sometimes our plans are turned upside down in the best way possible. The idea that someone you might overlook could have such hidden talent is like discovering that a plain rock is actually a shiny gem. In this kitchen, the forceful order had unlocked a secret that was waiting for the perfect moment to shine. And as the aromas mingled in the air, a new respect began to form, one that could change the way the entire restaurant looked at cooking. The guests, arriving one by one, began to fill the dining room. They talked softly among themselves as the delicious smell of the dinner embraced them like a warm hug. Plates were arranged gracefully by the waiters, and soon every table held a portion of the dinner that was both simple and extraordinary. The humble woman worked behind the scenes, her hands steady and her heart full. There was no rush now. Every full step of the process was a dance in the kitchen. When the time came for the chef to present the meal, he stood with a mixture of pride and uncertainty. As he took the first bite of the dish, his face changed slowly, from stern confidence to gentle amazement. In that single moment, everything shifted. The flavors were so perfectly balanced that even his strict mind could not help but recognize the hidden brilliance in every bite. The sauce, the seared meat, and the perfectly cooked vegetables melded together into a harmony that was both unexpected and deeply moving. It was as if the dish was a message, a soft correction to his earlier misjudgment. The taste of every bite told a story of tradition, of hard work, and of passion. The chef's mind, once focused solely on rules and orders, opened to a lesson he had never learned, that hidden talent can come from the most unassuming places. His eyes slowly took in every detail, and his heart began to remember that sometimes greatness wears a quiet face. Every guest at the table felt this wonder, their smiles growing wider with each mouthful. The dinner was not just food for the body, it was nourishment for the soul. As the night went on, whispers of admiration spread quietly among the guests. People marveled at the balance of flavors, the beautiful presentation, and how each ingredient had its own part in the song of the meal. The humble woman, who had once been forced into a situation by an arrogant command, had turned an ordinary evening into something magical. In that enchanted moment, the rigid rules of the kitchen gave way to creativity and warmth, a transformation that was as surprising as it was delightful. The chef, now standing beside her in silent respect, realized that his earlier insistence was not a sign of power, but a missed opportunity to learn from someone who had so much to teach. The restaurant's reputation soon grew, and everyone who visited could not help but ask about the secret behind that legendary dinner. It was a gentle reminder that true talent does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers quietly through every well-cooked meal. This story is not just about cooking. It is about life and the beauty of hidden gifts. The humble woman taught us that even when someone is forced to do something, Their natural talents can shine brighter than any command. The kitchen in this tale became a canvas where error, passion, technique, and tradition blended into art. In my opinion, it is always important to keep an open heart and mind. You never know where you might find an unexpected gem. I believe this evening teaches us that every person has a unique strength. Whether you are cooking in a small kitchen or working on a big project, each step matters. Just like our hero in the kitchen, we may all have secret skills that no one expects. And sometimes, challenges can push us to show our hidden power. Life, like cooking, has many secret ingredients: genuine passion, care, and the willingness to try even if others overlook your talents. Even in a world that sometimes values loud voices or grand gestures, the quiet work that happens with love and persistence often creates the most lasting impact. Think about it like collecting tiny drops of water that eventually fill the grandest ocean. Even a small act of creativity can lead to a wave of change. And in this kitchen, a forced order turned into a beautiful display of ingenuity and respect. At last, the final dish was complete. A beautiful plate of tender meat, perfectly cooked vegetables, and a deep, flavorful sauce that told the story of many years of love and learning. The colors were vibrant like a rainbow after a storm, and the entire plate could make anyone's heart skip a beat. The presentation was as simple as it was elegant, reminding us that true art does not need grand decoration. It thrives on the soul of its creator. Every plate served that night carried with it the message that perfection is not born of arrogance, but of humble persistence. The order that once seemed harsh had become an opportunity for greatness. The chef's strict regime had unwittingly given the hidden star chef the stage to reveal her true self. And as word of the legendary dish spread, the restaurant became known not only for its delicious food, but also for its heart, a heart that listens to the quiet strength in every member of its team. The story of that one special evening became a lesson for everyone who heard it. It is a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary people carry the most extraordinary gifts. This simple dinner, prepared with care, passion, and a deep love for food, changed the lives of all who witnessed it. In every bite, there was a secret waiting to be discovered, a secret that proves even the quietest soul can shine as bright as a star. As we come to the end of this remarkable story, let it remind you that every challenge may hide an opportunity. Sometimes a difficult order or hard moment is just the beginning of something wonderful. The humble woman in our story did not let doubt cloud her talent. Instead, she allowed her love for cooking to bloom right when it was needed most. Her passion and skill turned a forced situation into a celebration of life, art, and unexpected brilliance. I hope this story has inspired you to look deeper at those around you. Perhaps you too have a hidden talent waiting to be uncovered. Whether it is in cooking, painting, writing, or any small joy you hold dear, remember that the simplest actions can reveal the grandest wonders. Life has a way of surprising us when we give ourselves a chance to show what we are truly capable of. It teaches us that every moment, even one that starts by force, can lead to greatness when done with love and care. If you enjoyed this story of hidden genius and unexpected magic in the kitchen, please show your support by subscribing to our channel. There are many more tales of inspiration, creativity, and culinary adventures waiting for you. And while you are here, take a moment to check out our next video on the secrets of mixing simple, everyday ingredients to create extraordinary flavors. This video dives into the science and art of recipes that will make you hungry for more knowledge and even more delicious meals. Thank you for watching this story from start to finish. Every time you click that subscribe button, you support a community that believes in discovering and celebrating hidden talents. So go ahead, like the video, share it with someone who might need a little spark of inspiration today, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a new story. Let your kitchen, your heart, and your life be filled with the magic of unexpected brilliance.